So, welcome to the next or the last three species to be studied under class Insecta. Here we have the Troidus minos. Troidus minos is commonly known as southern birdwing or Sahyadri birdwing. It is endemic to the southern India, and the species comes under order Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera include all the butterflies and moths, family Papilionidae, and obviously the species name Troidus minos. It is considered to be the second largest butterfly known to India and the largest butterfly in southern India. It is more endemic to the Western Ghat region, more common in Kerala. And these butterflies, the larval stages of these butterflies, they feed upon the leaves of creeper and climber like Aristolochiaceae, members of Aristolochiaceae like Aristolochia indica. In Malayalam, it is known as Garuda Kudi. The Aristolochia indica, it is known as Garuda Kudi. And since these butterflies are found in and around these plants, that is the Aristolochia, these butterflies are also known as Garuda Shalabham. Okay, that is the ones which live on the Aristolochia plant. So the larval food plant belongs to the plants belonging to Aristolochiaceae family. Now regarding the nectar plants, this is pagoda flower. Okay, the pagoda flower, it is being visited by the adult butterflies very frequently. So where we have these pagoda flower, we can find these butterflies very frequently flying around. And since it is very large, we come to see them. It's very common in and around these places in Palakkad. Now, the next one we have is Papilio buddha or the Malabar banded peacock. It also comes under Lepidoptera papilionidae. Papilio buddha is common around the Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, and some parts of Maharashtra. And this has been designated as the state butterfly of Kerala, Papilio buddha. Okay, then we have the next one is the honeybee, the apis. Okay, apis honeybee. You can find this is it comes under order Hymenoptera subclusterigota. Obviously, this is actually a picture representation of a worker honeybee, and these are the three very common bees found in India. Okay, and the honeybee usually described it as Apis mellifera, and this is known as a common European honeybee. And we have is Apis dorsata, which is considered to be the large honeybee, the giant honeybee, and these are found usually along the rock. Like it is also known as rock bee and all. Okay, then we have is the Apis cerana. Apis cerana is usually smaller as compared with the other two, and the Apis the this one it is very small visiting flowers and all. Okay, so usually what we study is Apis mellifera. You can see the structure over here. They have a very expanded, very wide metathoracic leg. Okay, the first pair of leg is known as prothoracic leg, mesothoracic leg, and the metathoracic leg. Okay, in honeybee workers, we can see the metathoracic leg is very much expanded and it is wider. Okay, now coming to the structure, as already we have seen, you are already familiar that about honeybees. They are found all over the world, and you can see they are more. They have a very commercial purpose, and they are being reared as well. Okay, honeybees, they have usually they form colonies, and they have a very specific what we call social structure, and it is formed of, you can see the worker, a single queen or a fertile female, many drones, and much more number of workers. In a colony, there will be only a single queen. The queen and the workers are the females in a colony. The queen is the only fertile female, while workers are sterile females. The queen is responsible for laying eggs and expanding the bee size, the what you call the colony size, while workers are responsible for tending the queens, attending the larvae, taking care of eggs, cleaning up the hive, collecting the nectar, defending the colony, etc. It is done by the worker bees. While drones are the males in the colony. They are the only males in the colony, and they are responsible for mating with the queen and fertilizing the eggs. Okay, so these three are the castes in the honeybee colony. This is picture of Apis mellifera. You can see queen is the largest among the different castes. Okay, and so going into the next part, it is the episode, the structure of a worker bee. The body of a worker bee, you can see here, it is densely covered with bristles. These are the hairs, plumose hairs, bristles. The unbranched bristles, they are found on, you can see all around the body, isn't it? On the compound eyes, on the body, on the legs, etc. And workers are usually the smallest member among the of the colony. Okay, and the body, it is divisible into head, thorax, and abdomen. The head of the honeybee, it is wide triangular structure, and they have a pair of compound eyes and a pair of antennae. Usually here it is not visible, but three ocelli will also be present. Okay, the antennae, it serves as a tactile function. Now coming to the mouth parts, here you can see the proboscis. The mouth parts, it is meant for chewing and lapping. What they do is they for nectar collecting. Nectar, it is fluid in nature, so they lap it just like using a spatula, using a spoon for collecting it. They use their proboscis, their mouth parts for the chewing and lapping. Okay, it is formed of what you call the labrum, mandibles, maxillae, labium. Um, all these parts come together to form the mouth part. So here you can see the structure. Okay, so this is the mouth part. You can see the labrum. We have the mentum, submentum, prementum, and then we have the labellum. This is the honey spoon, almost like a spatula like structure. It is on either sides. You have the labial pad. This is the labial pad, the paraglossa, and then we have the what you call the gallia here, this one. Okay, you can see the gallia over here, right? And then further upwards you can see the palp, the maxillary palp over here, right? This is the mandible, the structure. You can see very compact, thick structure, and it supports the mouth parts. Okay, so this is actual figure, microscope, under the microscope, the mouth parts being mounted on a slide, and this is the labeled diagram. This is the mouth part which is used for chewing and lapping, and very specifically found in worker bees. Okay, you will be able to, you are supposed to mount it. The mouth parts have to be, mouth part of what called honeybee has to be mounted on the slide as a part of your practicals. Okay, now coming back to the structure of a worker bee, the thorax, you can see here, yeah, it is three segmented, right? They have a pair of legs on each segment. The first segment is known as prothorax. This is the prothoracic leg. The second segment, the mesothorax, and this is the mesothoracic leg. And the third segment, metathorax, the metathoracic leg. Okay, there are three pairs of legs, and each of the leg, it is densely covered with hairs, and it is used not only for walking, especially in the case of worker bees. It is not only used for walking. These legs are also used for collecting pollen, and for that purpose it is modified accordingly. Each leg consists of 5 parts. Every insect, the legs are having these 5 parts. That is the coxa, which actually it is the smallest segment which connects the leg with the body, with the thorax. Okay, that is the coxa. Then very small trochanter, highly inconspicuous. Then the femur, which is usually the largest one. Then the tibia and the tarsal segments. Okay, so we have as the coxa, femur, tibia, tarsus. These segments are very clearly found. seen. Okay, and the tarsus, it ends in, you can see over here two structures, center. These two structures are the claws. Okay, and in between the claws there will be a pulvillus. It is somewhat like this structure. Okay, this one, if it is expanded, it will be somewhat like this. Okay, so this is the pulvillus and these are the claws. Okay, so that will be the structure of the terminal part of the what do you call, the legs, all the legs. Fine. Now the prothoracic leg, that is the first pair of leg, has a row of stiff bristles on tibia. Okay, this is the tibia, on the tibia, and this forms eye brush, and it is used for the bristles on the tibia. It forms eye brush, which is used for cleaning the compound eyes. Okay, and at the distal end of the tibia, there is a movable spine. uh, Here you can see here, and this, it forms the antennal comb. Okay, at the what do you call, the tibia have very sharp made movable spine, and this movable spine can be used to close over the notch on the tarsus, and this forms an antennal comb, which is used for cleaning the antenna, so antennal cleaner. Okay, the long bristles on the tarsus form pollen brush. Okay, this one. So pollen brush, it is used for removing pollen from the front part of the body. So this is used, the bristles on the tarsal segments, it is used for combing out the pollens which are stuck in the in between the bristles, the setae, etc. Okay, cleaning up the front part of the head. Okay, then we have is the mesothoracic leg, the middle leg. It has a pollen brush, and it is present on the tarsus. Okay, the end of the tibia has a spiral-like spine for removing pollen from the pollen basket. This is the pollen basket. The tibia has a spur-like structure or spur-like spine, which is used to remove the pollen from the pollen basket, as well as wax from the abdomen. The beeswax, it is produced from the glands which are present on the ventral side. So it will be produced, and that has to be removed, and this is removed with the help of the spine on the what you call, the tarsal segments. Okay, now metathoracic leg has a large tibia, as a tibia you can see here, with a cavity, and this cavity, it forms the pollen basket or the corbicula, and this is used for collecting the storing the pollen during the collection process. Okay, and they also have what you call, the pollen comb and pollen press. These are used, the pollen comb is used to remove pollen from the body and to fill it in the pollen basket. Fine. So these are the structures present on the legs. Now coming to abdomen, it begins, you can see here, very a conspicuous what you call, a constriction is there, isn't it? So first segment over here, it forms a structure which is known as propodium, which is fused with the last thoracic segment. So what you see over here, it is a second abdominal segment, and this starts with the second abdominal segment, and the whole structure like this. As already mentioned, they have what you call, the wax secreting glands on the ventral side. Apart from that, they have a stink, which is made up of smaller segments. It is present on the last abdominal segment, and the stink, it is associated with a barb, and the barb is it is associated with a poison sac. It is attached to a poison sac, into which open acidic gland as well as alkaline gland. So when a worker bee stings any animal or the victim, what happens is the sting is injected inside. Along with the sting, some segments of the abdomen also remain there. The worker bee tries to wriggle away from the victim. So during that time, what happens is the sting, along with the last abdominal segments, it breaks off from the body of the worker bee, and it remains within the body of the victim. While the worker bee, it flies away with the damaged abdomen and then dies off. It cannot survive much. It dies off within 2 days. So this is about the